Recently, Mario Kart has been on my mind, specifically Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and specifying the specifics, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass. It might just be me itching for our new Nintendo Direct to reveal the stages, but lately I've been thinking about what stages they might add to the game. Seriously, I just want to race on new stages. Please hurry it up, Nintendo. I just want to race on new ones, please. I mean, can you really blame me? After all, there are 40 other tracks from all across the franchise that will be picked, so one can't help but wonder, what will those tracks be? So that's what we'll be doing today. Today we'll be looking at all of the tracks that aren't currently in the game and reviewing which ones are most likely able to join the future Booster Course Pass. So let's go ahead and dive in. Before that though, make sure you like and subscribe for more content like this. Another thing I want to mention before we dive into the murky waters of the Mario Kart tracks, I want to lay down some ground rules on what types of things we'll be focusing on when choosing these tracks. Number one, if it wasn't obvious enough, most of the tracks seem to be coming from the mobile game Mario Kart Tour, so I think it's safe to assume that Tour tracks are going to take priority when being picked, seeing as how they're the easiest to port. Prime examples are the whole pass. On top of this, I think it's safe to assume all the city tracks are going to be added into 8 Deluxe, since not many people have really played those or experienced those tracks, and Mario Kart Tour isn't going to last forever. We can assume this due to the fact that 3 of the first 8 tracks in the Booster Course Pass are from Tour, those being Paris Promenade, Tokyo Blur, and Ninja Hideaway. By the way, Ninja Hideaway supremacy, but that's a topic for another day. Another thing I want to know is that I'm trying to avoid tracks that are too similar to one another. There are of course some exceptions, however most won't be included. For example, take Sherbetland from Mario Kart 64. Something tells me that this won't be added due to there already being a Sherbetland currently in 8 Deluxe, that being Double Dashes, which is far more superior than the one on the 64. Also take 3DS's Woohoo Loop and Maka Woohoo. While they have different names, the tracks are far too similar to each other, so chances they'd add one or the other, but not both. Some of the tracks might be bias picks, and I'm sorry for that, but I gotta be greedy sometimes. Come on. Ugh. The final thing I want to touch on is the fact that I think some waves are gonna have a little bit of a theme going on. That doesn't mean every single track in the cup is going to be that specific theme, but some of the tracks may be themed, like snow themed or jungle themed. And also, I haven't seen any leaks, so I'm going into this completely blind. With those main rule sets out of the way, let's finally get into talking about which tracks will be featured on the Booster Course Pass, starting off with Wave 2. Wave 2 consists of the Turnip Cup and the Propeller Cup, and since I'm assuming it'll be announced soon, I believe that some of the tracks featured will be summer-type tracks, so tracks like beaches and sunny-like places will have a good chance of being in this. So let's start with the Turnip Cup. Oh, something I forgot to mention, much like the cups that are currently in the Booster Course Pass, every cup will begin with a tour track. And what better way to start it out but with Los Angeles Laps from Mario Kart Tour. Not only is the music an absolute vibe to listen to, the entire track is very summer-esque. This track allows you to drive through the bustling area of Los Angeles, allowing you to drive on the beach, the boardwalk, and hell, even glide through the baseball field. Holy shit, the Mario Fireballs are playing! I think it's a perfect track to start this lively cup. The next track is Mario Kart Wii's Mushroom Gorge. This one isn't really a summer-like track, however, I do think that this one has a very good chance at getting into the pass, due to it being in Mario Kart Tour. So it has a pretty good chance, and chances are we'll be seeing it sooner than later. Bounce on mushrooms and making your way to the goal, this will be a great one to be added to the pass. Next up is Mario Kart Double Dash's Daisy Cruiser. Making this video has made me realize how lacking we are in the Double Dash tracks, which is a personal hate crime towards me and I frankly don't appreciate it. Anyways, this one will make perfect sense to be added here. It takes place on a cruise ship, obviously, and while it doesn't scream summer, it definitely has the vibes for it. Plus, the track is pretty fun. You can drive through a pool, the dining hall, even the cargo. And ending off the cup is the iconic and well-known Waluigi pinball from Mario Kart DS. This one, I'm not gonna lie to you, I debated on even putting it on this list. The main reason why was because they currently have this song in the game, that being Wario Stadium, which shares the same song in its home game. However, I think it's fairly likely that they're gonna add this track due to how well perceived it is, as well as it currently being in Mario Kart Tour. This track obviously takes you through a pinball machine and the design is enough to make it a high tier track. all in all, a very solid cup and a great way to start off the pass. Or, well, the wave. Next up is the Propeller Cup, and keeping the trend of starting with tour tracks, I feel as if the next one would be Berlin Byways. At the time that I'm recording this audio, it was recently announced that the next tour in Mario Kart Tour is the Metropolitan Tour. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. To show that we're getting this original iteration of Berlin Byways, because previously we only had the second version, so what better way to celebrate than to add it to the pass? Berlin Byways is a very fun map that takes you through the streets of Berlin. I don't know too much about it, but from what I've seen, it looks pretty fun. Next up is Super Mario Kart's Mario Circuit. Now, I'm not going to specify which version in specific, because truly I don't know which one they'd pick. However, I am certain that at least one of the versions will be made into a retro track for 8 Deluxe. The track itself can be considered a bit boring, but hey, it's better than Figure 8 Circuit. God, I swear if they add that to the pass, I think I might cry. The third track would be Mario Kart 64's Kalimari Desert. This one was in both 7 and Tour, and in Tour you can trick off of the train. Oh, I hope they don't iterate that into this version. With calming music and pretty iconic trains stuck in an endless loop of madness, this track would be a fun one to race on again. And in the cup is Mario Kart 7's Maka Woohoo. It was a close one between Woohoo Loop and Maka Woohoo, however, I ultimately ended up going with the one that I believed to be more interesting, that being Maka Woohoo, of course. With a very nice setting in the background, race through the area of Woohoo, the location in the Wii Sports games, not Nintendo Switch Sports, very big difference there. Why the is it called Spacco Square? This track has you start at the bottom, make your way up to the top, and then back to the bottom again. It's definitely a fun one to end off the second wave with. And with that, we have completed our Wave 2. Solid tracks all across the board. Wave 2 would make for some fun races. Now then, let's move on to Wave 3. Wave 3 consists of the Rock Cup and the Moon Cup. I'm predicting this wave will be coming out sometime between late September and early December, which makes me predict that they'll add tracks that are autumn and holiday themed, those holidays being, in specific, Halloween and Christmas. Let's go over those said tracks now. Starting off with the Rock Cup, we'll be starting with, once again, a Mario Kart Tour original. This time, it's Vancouver Velocity. If you don't know your geography, Vancouver is in Canada, and if you're in Canada, you know it snows. A lot. Trust me, I have Canadian friends who talk about it every day. This track is very, very snow-themed and has a really giant banger song. Plus, the entire track is super interesting. You get to go through an ice rink. This track is genuinely so pretty, and it'd be a crime if it wasn't included. The next track fits the autumn theme, that being Mario Kart Wii's Maple Treeway. The track is such a vibe. The music is one of the most iconic songs in Mario Kart Wii, next to Coconut Mall, and maybe Rainbow Road, and potentially Toad's Factory. But it's up there. This track would just be shocking to not see come back, as it's such a beloved track from the franchise. The third track I predicted is Luigi's Mansion from Mario Kart DS, to fit the sort of Halloween-like theme. This track takes you through a little bit of the inside of Luigi's Mansion. It even takes you through the, for some reason, massive yard that the mansion has. The music is a pretty big vibe too, and although they have a battle course called Luigi's Mansion in the game, I have a good feeling they'll add this one due to it being present in 7 and Tour. The last track we end on is Rock Rock Mountain from Mario Kart 7. I mean, come on, we all saw it coming. Rock Rock Mountain in the Rock Cup. It's like it was almost fate, I'm telling you. This track was the track in Mario Kart 7 that really just came up to you and said, hey, did you know that you can glide in this game? I mean, seriously, there's like 3 glider ramps on this track. It's the perfect thing to end the cup in style. And there you have it, the Rock Cup. You'll be driving and getting power, staying hungry, and then devouring, putting in the work, putting in the hours, and taking what's ours. Oh, I'm so sorry. Next up is the Moon Cup, which was honestly kinda hard to sort out perfectly, but I think that this is a great lineup. It starts off with New York Minute from Mario Kart Tour. This was the first city track that was added into Mario Kart Tour, and it's only fitting to add it to the Moon Cup, considering the track is heavily based off of New Donk City, a location in Mario Odyssey, which is the game where the moon comes from. I think you know that. I think it's overall just fitting to add it to this cup, plus the track is pretty good itself. The second course I'm predicting to be Banshee Boardwalk from Mario Kart 64. And while this one isn't currently a Mario Kart tour, I thought it fit the Halloween vibes pretty well, considering how that track literally gave me nightmares as a kid. But moving on. Plus, it hasn't been seen since Mario Kart DS, so now would be a good time to add it back. The third track I'm predicting is Mushroom Bridge from Mario Kart Double Dash. Although I prefer Mushroom City, which is like my favorite track in that game, I have a small feeling Mushroom Bridge will get in over its city alternative. Much like Banshee Boardwalk, this track hasn't been seen since Mario Kart DS, and this one definitely needs to make a comeback. It's such a fun stage with such amazing ideas, like being able to drive on the bridge, or at least try to. I suck at doing that in that game. Overall, I'll be extremely disappointed if Mushroom Bridge or City doesn't come into the pass. Like, I'll genuinely riot. The last track in this cup is another obvious choice, but Merry Mountain from Mario Kart Tour will be the best way to round up the Moon Cup. Do I really need to explain why this one is holiday themed? Merry Mountain is literally Christmas themed, and since it's releasing around the holiday, this is such a good way to end it and add this non-city retro tour track. And that's that. Wave 3 is super solid and contains really great tracks. Wave 4 consists of the Berry Cup and the Boomerang Cup, and the cup is most likely being released in late March to early April 2023. Don't really know if they'll be doing any specific themes, so let's just get into the first cup, which is the Berry Cup. Starting off this cup is Mario Kart Tour's Amsterdam Drift. This track is the most recent city track they added into Mario Kart Tour, and I could definitely be wrong about this, but remember how I brought up the next tour, Metropolitan Tour? Well, from what I've seen, I think there's a second version of Amsterdam Drift coming out, I think. Maybe. I don't know, I can't tell. Anyways, I know I just said they won't do any specific themes, but Amsterdam Drift is very much a spring-like track. Plus, Amsterdam is a super spring-like place. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dutch friends. I know you guys watch me. Next up, I predict Rosalina's Ice World from Mario Kart 7. This one definitely grew on me as I played it more and more on the 3DS. How does Rosalina have enough to afford an observatory and an ice world? She's gotta be paying some form of taxes for those things, right? Right. Anyways, the music definitely carries this track, but I'd love to see this join the roster. The third track in the Berry Cup is Dino Dino Jungle from Double Dash. While it's probably my least favorite track in Double Dash, that's not really saying much because every single track in that game just goes nutty. You ride along a jungle and encounter a dino. It was in 7 and Tour, so it's not like it doesn't have a chance. The final track I predicted for this cup was 64's Koopa Troopa Beach. It's a very calming and fun track, plus you can see it from Sunshine Airport. Fun fact! The music is pretty relaxing and it's one of my faves from the Nintendo 64. And now, the Boomerang Cup. Starting off is, of course, another tour track, this one being Sydney Sprint. Yes, I intentionally put the Sydney track on the Boomerang Cup, deal with it, you Aussies. Just like Dory says, see Sherman Wallowee Way, whatever she said. This track is super fun to race on, except for the really long straightaway, but other than that, it's a really solid track and the music is really great. Can you tell I'm running out of things to say about these tracks? I'm slowly going insane, please send help. The second track is DK Summit from the Wii. It was hard to choose between this and DK Pass, but I ultimately chose DK Summit because DK Summit was a lot more well known than DK Pass, plus both were and are very solid tracks. You basically shoot through a canyon and ride down the summit, like Mark McMorris if he was in a cart. The third track that I chose was Sunset Wilds from Super Circuit. It had been a minute since I named a Super Circuit track, but I'm sorry to say, I don't think we're gonna get that many. There's really not that many to choose from. Sunset Wilds, however, is a really creative track and I absolutely love this remake and tour. Basically, you're driving through a campsite, I think. I don't know, is it a campsite? I think it is. Ending this cup in Wave Off is Airship Fortress from the DS. If DK Pass couldn't get in, I'm definitely happy with Airship Fortress getting in. And it's understandable why. DS tracks just never miss. Unless you're Figure 8 Circuit. Then you miss. Anyways, you drive through an airship that's obviously a giant Mario Bros. 3 reference. The thing that I love about this track is the bonsai bills and the Monty moles and the giant torn apart castle. Great map. And that's it. Wave 4 knocked out of the park, moving on to Wave 5. Moving on to Wave 5, we have the Feather Cup and Cherry Cup. Let's just get straight to the point because this video is probably already going to be long enough and I'm not going to have the mental capacity to edit for this long. Let's just get a move on. Starting off the Feather Cup, we have Singapore Speedway from Mario Kart Tour. I know I said earlier that Vancouver Velocity may have one of the best songs out of all the tour city tracks, but Singapore Speedway may be the one to rival that one, arguably. The track in general is super pretty, and while it's pretty short, I think it's going to be a fun track to race on. The next one added is Cheap Cheap Island from Super Circuit. This track's a very simplistic yet calming track. Driving through the beach and boardwalk, it's basically a less themed Los Angeles laps. The third track is Koopa Cape from the Wii. Nothing more to say here, I'm fairly certain that this one will be added at some point. It's a good track, I just don't have too much to say about it. And finally, the fourth track will be Choco Island from Super Mario Kart. This one is currently in tour, and I think it'll most likely arrive in a Deluxe. But much like Koopa Cape, I just don't have much to say about it. Boom! Feather Cup, just 3 more cups. Ending Wave 5, we have the Cherry Cup, which will feature London Loop from tour. Yes, it's very late into the game, but I didn't know where else to put this one. London Loop is probably my least favorite city track, but it's still decent. You just drive through the streets of London. Yay. This script is killing me, please help. These next 3 are kinda shots in the dark, but I think it's possible. Next is Mario Kart 7's iteration of Bowser's Castle. This one isn't my personal favorite Bowser's Castle, but it's far from the worst. Plus, I'm sure this iteration will end up in one of the cups at some point. Other than that, it's a pretty interesting track. Also, how the f is there lava spewing underwater? Third track is Wario Coliseum from Double Dash. This is obviously an oddball pick, but Wario Coliseum is just one of those maps that are just screaming to add anti-gravity to it. I mean, you're basically in one giant motorcycle ring thingy. I don't remember what it's called, but Danganronpa fans know what I'm talking about when I say it looks like a motorcycle ring thingy. If you know, you know. The last track on the list is Delfino Plaza from the DS. It's a very decent track, and I liked racing on it when I played it on the Wii. It basically just sees you driving through the Delfino town. That's like it. Also that bridge, that could be a cool glider ramp. And boom, Wave 5 is done. Let's now move on to the last wave, Wave 6. Wave 6 contains the Acorn Cup and the Spiny Shell Cup. And it being the last 8 courses of the DLC, I think you all know what the last cup is gonna be, but before we get there, we have the Acorn Cup. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Brett, you ran out of tour tracks to use. I know, but I still think they're gonna do a new unannounced tour track. Okay, you gotta hear me out here. This wave is releasing in 2023 after all, so I think that Mario Kart Tour is gonna add at least 1 or 2 more city tracks before it ends, of course. The next track is Toad's Factory from Mario Kart Wii. Surprisingly, a lot of people are predicting this track, despite it never becoming a retro track. However, I really want to see this one come back, as it's such a great track and the music is such a vibe. The third track is SNES's Vanilla Lake. I absolutely despise this track. However, I'm certain that it's going to be added in this game, unfortunately, due to it being in tour. But a part of me is praying that it isn't in the past. Why can you run into the snow blocks? Why is the track so short? As for the last track, this is a hot take, but I think that the last track is going to be another unannounced tour track. After all, there were some city tracks that were data mined. I'm not saying what though, or all the spoiler-free fans. I think that they'll do 2 city tracks into this cup, which probably means you know the theme of the next cup, the Spiny Shell Cup. Yeah, you guessed it. I'm predicting that the Booster Course Pass will contain 4 Rainbow Roads from the past, specifically the Rainbow Roads from DS, Double Dash, Wii, and 7. All of these Rainbow Roads are seemingly different from each other, plus all 4 of these have been highly requested, so I think that it could be likely that Nintendo would do this. Even then, I'm like 1000% certain Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road will be the final track out of the pass. I mean, it's in tour, so I think it's most likely going to end off with that bang. And there we have it, the final 2 cups of the pass being very solid tracks.
It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. And you will know when you get there.
And that's that. that's all 40 tracks predicted for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. I feel pretty confident about my choices and their placements, and I'm gonna keep track of my predictions and see which ones I get right or wrong. And until we get that new Nintendo Direct, please Nintendo, we can hope for what things will be revealed. Also, one of my friends and I made a Booster Course Pass draft. We went through all the tracks not in the game currently and chose from each one at a time. Someone might have gotten one less or extra, I don't know, I don't really care enough to check. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. If you liked this video, like the video, and if you didn't, like it anyway. Cope. And also be sure to subscribe if you're interested in these type of Mario Kart videos. I do plan to make more in the future. And that's all for now. Make sure you tune in for the next video. See you later.